Good evening, everybody. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon on August the 15th. I'm watching more of the YouTube videos today as to what's going on, and especially with what's going on in Alaska. So apparently Trump isn't done with Putin on his meeting. Like, we're really going to know the truth about what's going on. You know, they're going to put a spin on it, claiming that Trump has made some sort of deal. And you can't make a deal without Zelensky being president and agreeing to it. Anyway, in regards to what's going on in D.C., now a lot of you haven't watched any of my videos, so if you run up on any of them, I deleted a lot of my videos, but a lot of what they're saying is that pretty much a lot of the military that he sent out in Washington, D.C. To take over the cops' duties is unconstitutional. They brought up a lawsuit, the Washington, D.C. citizens against Trump and the DOJ and so forth and so on. And so, God willing, that the judge will rule in favor of the lawsuit, and they won't be able to, do their rogue policing and picking up a lot of our black brothers and sisters. That's number one. Number two, in regards to the protest, a lot of us Hispanics and blacks were not going to be able to do a lot of the protest, and unfortunately, Trump and Miller and all of them are not going to like that a lot of whites are protesting and keeping it up, so they probably will arrest a lot of them, in which case, we have come up on a rogue regime, and these people, they don't give a darn what the law is, what the Constitution says. They just want what they want, how they want, and it's like, unfortunately, this is what I'm trying to figure out, though. Right now, basically things are going as normal. Everybody's, that got a job is still working. So far, people have been able to see their doctors and so forth. So the big, fat, ugly bill hasn't really gotten into effect yet. It's like they say it's not going to happen till after the midterms. This is what we got to do, though. You've got to keep on with the boycotts, speaking up and out when we see the next step of this regime, speaking up and out against how they're treating our brothers and sisters of all nationalities. And unfortunately, I see a lot of people from the whites, and there are a lot of blacks, but there's not enough of us Hispanics speaking up and out. And I don't know if it's because they still consider themselves white. On my birth certificate, it was put white, and I am Hispanic. Unfortunately, when I was a baby, according to my auntie, I knew Spanish fluently. But my mom and my dad, they liked talking Spanish about what was going on. and they didn't want us to know what they were saying. So they didn't keep it up with us and with me. Um, so you don't use it, you lose it. And even though I tried to take it in high school, don't use it, you lose it. Because it was hard, because I think because of my dyslexia. And everything that I say as far as, you know, ADHD, dyslexic, and stuff like that, they didn't have those things to diagnose back when I was a kid. Beginning Gen X here. But the problem is no matter, even when I had asked about, you know, learning, and asked about history, and asked about this and that, the attitude was, you don't need to know. So, this is why I am fighting so hard that we speak up, speak out, do what we can, how we can, to help each other out. Unfortunately, like I said, this is the only way that I really have, you know. I'm, I've got to get my head together because of everything going on. I can't think about how to speak to some of these representatives that I do want to call and tell them how I feel. But I know I'll come off as a crazy lady. and, and like I tell people, yes, I'm crazy, but you gotta be a little crazy to deal with this world. But I haven't gotten over the edge yet. But you know, when you're dealing with your personal stuff, it's kind of hard to keep your thoughts straight without everything else going overboard. But nevertheless, you know, for those that are able to, though, please, you know, this is about the only way that I have an outlet to speak up and say anything, or sharing videos of other creators, and sharing on Facebook. Like I say, I'm done with TikTok. You know, everybody knows that TikTok is a bunch of garbage. And I was not about to sift through all that stuff. But anyway, so please pay attention, speak up, speak out, share, do what you can to help the cause, and be kind. Be kind to people that don't look like you. Be kind and do something nice to those that, you know, say hello. Maybe if you get to know somebody that you don't ever know, that you might have been afraid of, you know, they might be nicer than you think. Anyway, I love y'all. God bless you. Stay graceful, especially with yourself. Stay true.